Hi everyone and welcome to another video. In this week's video I am going to be creating an about me page, or a few pages, in my bullet journal. And I started by drawing out a heart, which I wanted to put likes and dislikes in. The idea with the about me page is to try and get a little snapshot of life where it is now, and then you would do another one at the end or the start of the next bullet journal and see how things differ. So I'd sketched out a heart and drawn around it in fine liner and immediately made a mess with my shaky hands, so I decided to just go over it with a thicker tip to hide the mess. And I didn't mind it being sketchy. I was quite happy with how it turned out, and then noticed a massive smudge down the page and was like, we can't stick with this. So I went over it with correction tape and I ended up drawing the heart again on blue paper and cutting around it and sticking it in, which I actually really ended up liking the effect of because it just added a bit of colour. And then I grabbed some cardstock to try and cover the mistake, and I decided to pick out these bees because of the bee theme I've been using in the front of my journal, and I stuck down the one side of it, and my intention was to then stick down the other side as well, but I realised, oh, okay, I could have a little flap here and like have a sort of little extra half page in there. So I decided to do that, and it ended up being a kind of 4-page spread rather than 2. So I also pulled out some of these little papers I had in a Smashbook little notepad from ages ago, and this one said dreams on it, so I thought it would be perfect for like capturing the dreams and goals I've got at the moment. And then I went back to sticking down my heart, which I think turned out a lot better than my first attempt. Underneath I stuck another one of these little pages which has currently on it, and then a list of like listening to, eating, drinking, watching, those kind of things. And I also grabbed this other one that says news of the day, and I thought I could write something topical. I added in a sticker just to do a little header, and then this little sticker here is actually one of the first ever stickers I created like 3 years ago, and I drew it. It's supposed to be of me. I had only just started drawing at the time and I was pretty happy with it. And then I picked out some other kind of health related stickers that I thought I might use. Then I pulled out some index cards for some other little kind of pops of colour, and I wanted to create little boxes that I could write on and it would be distinct sections within the spread, but I didn't have kind of sticker boxes that were big enough, so I grabbed these index cards and just used the back. And then had another dig through my die cut stash to, 1, try and use some of them up, but 2, pull out some kind of health related ones, or ones that I felt would be relevant to the things that I was starting to think I might write. And I popped this constantly overwhelmed one on the other side next to the little sticker of me. And then this actually autistic sticker from Cute Stickers Only, which is holographic, and I've been waiting to find a spot for it, and I thought the About Me spread was perfect. And then just one final box, a little bit of this blue paper, and I just kept trimming it until I was happy with the placement and the shape. And I overall just wanted to give it a bit of a scrapbooky feel with different sections and little kind of containers of information throughout the pages. And so I went a bit wild, cutting, sticking, gluing until I'd filled up all the space, and then thought, okay, what am I going to write on this? And came to that later on. In the middle, I wanted to make it clear the date of this, so when I actually filmed this was the end of August. I know I'm only releasing it at the beginning of October now, but I did the bulk of this, except for sticking down the last photos, at the end of August. And so I grabbed these letter stickers to just do an About Me title. What I should have done was started with the middle of the word first so I could space it out properly. I ended up peeling up and down these About Me stickers multiple times, which is now causing them to peel up in my journal, so I might have to go back in and replace those or use a pen. But eventually I got there and I had About Me August 2023. Then it was time for some more stickering. I started to think in my mind what I might put in some of the spaces, and I just popped more stickers down. And then I used one of my stencils to do a likes and dislikes heading in the top of my heart. You can see there I'm counting on my fingers how many letters are in dislikes and starting from the middle outwards so that I didn't make the same mistake as I did with the stickers. Although it was pretty touch and go whether I was actually going to fit it in. But we got there. And then I just drew a divided line down the middle. I risked it with my shaky hands and started to write in some of my current likes, because obviously this will change over time and it'll be nice to look back on. So I filled that out for likes and dislikes, and then went down and filled in my currently list. And then I actually started writing on that first fold out page. So I knew when I stuck that sticker down that I kind of wanted to incorporate it in a sentence about finding out I was autistic. So I popped down a little arrow and kind of linked the sentence to the sticker, and then went in and just filled that top corner with coordinating washi tape. And I grabbed one of my affirmation stickers that said, "You are stronger than you think," because it just tied into what I wanted to talk about on this page, which was my health and identity and kind of the work I've been doing on that and discoveries and stuff over the last few years. And then I just grabbed this little note sticker and wrote, "Who knew?" Because obviously I went 30 years of my life without knowing I was autistic. And this page, like I said, I wrote about being autistic, I wrote about my health, and so when I was partway down, I actually incorporated another sticker, which is this Invisible Illness Club sticker, which I think I got off a D-stash table, not sure where it's from, and I just used an arrow in the same way to kind of link it up with what I was saying, and then also tied in the constantly overwhelmed sticker at the bottom. So I was quite happy with incorporating some of my favourite stickers that I've had for a while, finding a way to use them that felt meaningful, and they're kind of captured in this About Me spread now forever. So that is nice, because it's one that I'll look back on. So when that was finished, I flipped over to the other side and I started filling in these boxes. So I put this notes to self sticker and wrote "You're the boss," and then one of these lovely shop small stickers that I've been waiting for an excuse to use. And I decided to write about my business and all about plan, inspire, create in this top box, because it's something that's obviously incredibly important to me, and it's only a few years now that I've been running this business, and so I kind of wanted to capture my excitement about where that is. And then I went on to filling in this dreams jar with some of my important kind of goals and dreams of things I'm looking forward to. With that done, I actually went on my phone and found a news article from that day that stood out to me, and I wrote a little summary, and I thought it'd be a nice idea just to capture something which we might look back on in time and think, I can't believe that was the news that day. So I'll talk more about this later. And then I just printed off some photos for my happy heart section. I wanted to put a picture of my husband, my dog Maggie, and my mum. But sorry Maggie and Mum, I quickly realised there wasn't enough space, so I'm going to save your pictures to pop them in a journal somewhere else. They'll go in my memory journal. Sorry you've been ousted, but I popped a picture of me and my husband in there. It's a recent picture from a holiday we took in August, and so I thought that was very topical and a memory from that specific month in time. So I just popped it in and then trimmed the bottom. So I finished my About Me spread. Ironically, it is now the start of October, just when I've stuck this last sticker down, and I started this at the end of August. but it's fine. The information remains the same. So if you have missed my previous video, I showed that I was setting up the beginning of my planner with a blue and yellow bee theme. So either side of that, we've got the blue and yellow bee theme. If you want to go back and watch that video, you can. But I stuck with a blue and yellow theme throughout this spread and brought in some of the bees. And this is how it turned out. So I like that there is a mix of information on here. I love that it's kind of packed with stickers, there's stuff all over the place. Usually I'm someone who goes kind of very neat and orderly, and I don't like cram every bit of white space with stickers, but I just went wild with this one and I really like how it turned out. So I've got my likes and dislikes up here, and then just some little stickers that stood out to me. I have got a picture of me and my husband that was really recent. It was taken in August under Happy Heart. I've got my list of currentlies, and then on this side I start to talk about myself, my health, where I am at this moment. And because it's the first one I've done of these, I did kind of go back and feel like give a little bit of history, and then obviously if I keep these up on the regular then I wouldn't necessarily do that. So this page is a lot about my health, and I said it's been 5 years since I found out that I have been actually autistic the whole time. Who knew? Might have been useful to know, but you win some, you lose some. It's been so good getting to know myself all over again through this new lens. I'm so much kinder to myself these days rather than judging myself by neurotypical standards. I understand how to manage my needs more. I'm also a member of the Invisible Illness Club. I have fibromyalgia, so I get pain and fatigue I have to manage. I try and pace myself, but it's not always easy, especially when running my own business. Between fibro, autism, depression and anxiety, I am constantly overwhelmed, but I manage it like a champ. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And I feel like it is more kind of introductory to like the picture of the last few years of me changing to focusing, well, having to focus more on my health. And I like that. I like that it's a snapshot. Like if I was to go back and pick this up and see like where I was at this moment in time, and the likes and dislikes obviously reflect that a lot. So likes, we've got being in nature, hugs, feeling cozy and comfy, puzzles, planning and journaling, learning new things, board games, being creative, working on my business, time with family and friends, cozy Switch games, cuddles with Mag, that's my dog, and Choc. And then dislikes are too much peopling, crowds, loud noises, feeling out of control, headaches, heat when I have to do stuff, used food. So there's a lot of sensory things to me in the likes and dislikes, and used food is like when you finished your meal but there's food left on the plate, whether it's mine or other people's. It just grosses me out for some reason. It's a weird thing I've got. Touching bananas and tomatoes, similar. It's an autism sensory thing. Mean Girls, by that I mean actual Mean Girls, not the film. Just like catty, mean, bully girls that you find out and about. Bullying, injustices, uncertainty, self-doubt, washing up water because of the used food, and people in costumes. Don't really like it. Don't really like it when people are inside the big costumes where you can't see who's in there. Don't really like that. So that's my likes and dislikes. The dislikes are a random bunch of things, and a lot probably autism related. And then currently I said eating. Well, this needs to change. I've had too many of these, but Rhythm 108, hazelnut truffle bar. If you're vegan or you can't eat dairy, get yourself to a Sainsbury's is where I find mine. And you can just put on weight with me while we all eat Rhythm 108 hazelnut truffle bars. They are the best. Drinking Fanta Fruit Twist Zero. I stumbled upon this a few weeks ago and I feel like it's quite a summery drink, so I probably won't be buying any more of those for a while. But there was a bit of nostalgia around drinking it when I was younger. Listening to the Barbie movie soundtrack, feeling anxious but optimistic. Daydreaming about my holiday to Skiathos in September. I got back at the weekend. And singing I'm Just Ken from the Barbie soundtrack is like my favourite song to sing. So then we flip it over, and I really like the fact that I ended up with this flip out bit, which, like I explained earlier, was an accident. So this little bit here, I wrote about my business, and I said, I love running my own business. It's something I wanted to do when I was younger. I just didn't know what that business would be. I love that I get to create and then see those creations come to life. I love that my products and content inspire self-care, and I love connecting with others about this. Even though it's challenging, it's one I love, as in it's a challenge that I love. I've learnt so much and can't wait for our ventures to come. Did I mention I love it? Because I think I said that about 50 times. And a little smiley. And then I've got a shop small sticker and a note to self, you're the boss sticker. And then at the bottom of this page, I found this news of the day sticker, and this is the news clip that I picked out. So on the day that I did the majority of this spread, it was the 26th of August. So I put the date in, and then I found a news article from that day and just like wrote down what it was all about, because I thought it'd be interesting to look back at that when I'm looking at this and be like, oh, there's the context. So the bit I copied was, John Lewis and Waitrose are joining Tesco and M&S in reducing the price of period underwear by 20%. This follows the launch of the Say Pants to the Tax campaign, urging government to scrap VAT on these items. VAT is no longer charged on other sanitary products in a bid to end period poverty. So that one stood out to me because I feel like it's a really important women's issue. It's mad that we used to pay 20% VAT on all other sanitary products. Like, when I think about that, it's just crazy. And then now the fact that period underwear is classified as clothing rather than a sanitary product means that you are charged VAT on it at 20%, which is a massive great markup. And so particularly on reusable period, this is just me on my soapbox now, particularly on reusable period products, I feel like they are a way to kind of end period poverty. If you can cover the cost for people of the first, like a set of reusable items, then they haven't got as much to pay in the long term. And I'm going to get off my soapbox now, but firstly, I was glad I read it, and I'm going to keep an eye on it, and secondly, that's my news of the day. So moving on, this little dream jar over here, I stuck a little sticker next to it saying, nothing is too good for me. That was from Happy Dyer. And in the dreams jar, I wrote, expanding our family, seeing my products in more stores, returning to dance, and visiting South Korea in 2024. So South Korea's booked. Well, the flights are booked. Nothing else is booked. Need to actually book some other things. And then expanding our family is something we've been working on for years. I've mentioned it on this channel before in goals videos and stuff that we went through IVF in the past. We're not doing that anymore, but we hope to expand our family in one way or another. Actually have a social worker coming out this week to talk to us about adoption. So that's very exciting. If you want to know more about this topic, because I'm not going to ramble about it now, it was National Childless Not by Choice Week recently, and I wrote a big blog post about my experiences of my fertility journey and people's kind of attitudes and responses and how that affects you, even though you know they've got good intentions, and yeah, a whole dive into it. So if you're interested, I wrote that blog post. I'll leave it linked below. It's on my website. But expanding our family is in the dream jar. We have our dog Maggie, of course, but we hope to have some humans too. Seeing my products in more stores is something I've been working on for a while, and I've got some big projects coming up that I'm going to be letting my patrons know about first. So patrons, look out for that. And then returning to dance, I recently was inspired by the lovely Lottie at Mama Makes, who attended a dance class and put a video up on Instagram of how it went, and I was like, yeah, I need to find a dance class, and it would be a fun way to get back into fitness, because I danced like all through my child and teenage years, and then I stopped because of my health, and I kind of developed this fear around it in case I hurt myself, and I kind of told myself I couldn't do it anymore. So I want to find a way that I can return to dance. And then at the bottom, I have a little note here which kind of like sums up everything, and it said, I put a look how far you've come sticker here. This was from Chrissy Ann Designs. And then I need to rest at the bottom was from Happy Dyer, and I said, it feels like I've come out of the other side of a turbulent few years. My little family is reunited and I have a calm and happy home. We've decided IVF is not for us and we want to focus on enjoying life now while looking into growing our family in other ways. I've been making friends and my business has really grown in the past few years. Stop and be proud. So I feel a bit emotional reading that. Those of you who followed me for a while and my patrons will know that I had a pretty awful few years, and they were very rocky, and I focused throughout that time on trying to build my business as well as using planning and creativity to help me feel better, more like myself, and refocus on the things that I felt were important. And I feel like, you know, the work's never completely done, is it? But because it's never really done, it's tempting sometimes to not stop and take stock of where you are. And I think it's really important to stop and think, yeah, you're not quite where you want to be, but look how far you were from, you know, where you have been. We'll always keep adding more and more goals. So it's important to stop and look back on your progress and be proud of yourself. So that's where we are. I have a little kindness is magic sticker up here from OK Doodle because I just wanted a nice happy spread. What else have I got on here? You are stronger than you think, one of my notes to self stickers. And then these little pens are from Cute Stickers Only. I'm going to link everything in the description below. So I hope you enjoyed seeing me put together my About Me spread, and hopefully it might inspire you to do a similar thing in yours, even if it's just a little page with a list. It doesn't have to be all this decoration or things like that. It doesn't have to be as long. You can do it in any way you want. Maybe just a list of things you're currently into, likes or dislikes. Like these things could be just individual pages, but I had a lot of fun pulling together something that's a bit out of my comfort zone and kind of scrapbooky, and putting a stamp in time in my bullet journal and saying this is me and where I am now. Like I said, everything will be in the description below, and next week I should have another studio vlog for you and you can see a little bit of behind the scenes, because I know I haven't posted one of those in a little while because I've been so busy journaling. So thank you for watching everyone, take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!